Hello everyone, welcome back to Famous Unknown. I think Africa needs to celebrate certain things. Yes, we need to celebrate certain things because Africa needs to celebrate all these coups that has happened for the past 2 years. It needs to be celebrated. It should be a national holiday for all Africans. If you go to Ghana, I think they need to celebrate the Ashantis winning the war against the British. Yes, all this needs to be celebrated because if it was the Europeans, they will be celebrating this. And they have celebrated all their crimes. They have. And they're still celebrating them. They have statues of people who has amassed a lot of crimes. They have statues of them and they celebrate them till today. They do. Julius Malema woke up one day and said, kill the Boers. And it's a big deal. They had a discussion about him in the White House between Donald Trump and South Africa's president, Ramaphosa. They had a discussion about Julius Malema because he said, kill the Boers.
Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill, Namaza. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer.
But yes, still the Boer War is being celebrated. Yeah, it's being celebrated.
Europeans don't hide their crimes. They commemorate them. They don't regret empire. They sculpt it in granite, name streets after it, fund scholarships in its name, and build museums to house the spoils. Every colonial war has a parade. Every massacre has a statue. Every genocidaire has a stamp. Every mass theft gets filed under cultural heritage. Leopold II turned the Congo into a labor camp where forced rubber quotas mutilated children and burned villages to ash. They gave him 17 statues, named tunnels, boulevards, and entire parks after him.
See, this is King Leopold II. If you go to Brussels, the city of Brussels in Belgium, they have his statue like everywhere. They have his statue everywhere. But this guy has caused a lot of damage to Africans. King Leopold II.
Napoleon re-enslaved Haitians, re-invaded the Caribbean, and launched wars that killed millions across Europe and North Africa. France buried him under golden domes and named entire cities after him.
And this is Napoleon. They still celebrate Napoleon up to today. They even teach about Napoleon in schools.
Columbus kick-started centuries of genocide, enslavement, and biological warfare. They gave him a US holiday, over 100 statues, and named entire countries and capitals after him.
Christopher Columbus, the explorer, the person, they will say he explored Africa. But we were there before he got there. Christopher Columbus, yeah. The one that Americans think he discovered Africa. When he got to Africa, people were there. So how the hell you tell me he discovered Africa? How about the people that were on that settlement? People were already there. So how the hell you tell me Christopher Columbus discovered this? And they still celebrate Christopher Columbus. They do.
Cecil Rhodes massacred the Matabele people, seized land by force, and laid the foundations for apartheid. Oxford still hands out Rhodes scholarships. His name still sits on colleges, streets, and foundations.
Cecil Rhodes, see? They celebrate all these people.
They named British destroyers after Queen Victoria, while she presided over the Indian famines that killed tens of millions. They put Edward Colston, slave trader, mass trafficker, on pedestals in Bristol until 2020. They put Francisco Pizarro, who butchered the Inca, in the center of Lima. They built Trafalgar Square to glorify a naval war that preserved slavery. They celebrate the Spanish Reconquista, a 700-year ethnic cleansing campaign, with festivals, flags, and cathedrals built over raised mosques. The British Empire celebrates Victoria Day in Canada. Belgium still has Leopold monuments intact and cleaned. The Dutch still celebrate Golden Age painters who profited off the transatlantic slave trade. Portugal celebrates Vasco da Gama as a national hero while ignoring his execution of Muslim prisoners in Mombasa. They literally celebrate Australia Day on the anniversary of indigenous dispossession. They name entire cities after slavers. Rhodesia, Georgetown, Kingstown, Jamestown, Victoria, Elmina, Port Louis. They put plantations on the back of currency. They hold royal jubilees funded by taxes taken from colonized peoples. They filmed The Crown while Britain was deporting Caribbean elders. They wrote children's books about kings' armies who starved Bengal, flattened Kenya, and torched Sudanese cities. They hung Haitian revolutionaries, then named streets after the men who sent the hangmen. They installed apartheid, then named universities after the architects. They erased the dead, then kept their teeth in museum drawers. They erased indigenous languages, then gave schools Latin mottos. They desecrated sacred land, then declared the ruins UNESCO sites. They put generals on horsebacks in town squares, men who bombed, gassed, hanged, and whipped their way across 3 continents. They call their loot collections. They call their massacres missions. They call their propaganda curriculum. They call the blood-soaked timelines the Enlightenment. They call the criminals founding fathers. They celebrate the French foreign nation born out of Algeria's colonization. They celebrate the Boer Wars, which pioneered concentration camps. They celebrate World War I without mentioning African and Asian soldiers forced to die for empires that called them beasts. They handed out OBEs, MBEs, and CBEs, literally Order of the British Empire, in 2025. They still knight people in the name of empire. The British Museum, the Louvre, the Vatican, the Pergamon, the V&A, they are all crime scenes with coat checks. Their archives are full of confessions labeled as classified. Their holidays are national amnesia rituals. Their statues are granite lies. Their textbooks are sanitized murder. Europe doesn't teach history. It curates alibi. It displays the stolen bones. It polishes the swords. It sells gift shop postcards of the crimes. This isn't collective forgetting. It's institutional pride.
King Leopold II murdered about 12 million Congolese. All these crimes, these people committed a lot of crimes. Slaves and a whole bunch. But they celebrate them. But Africa, what do we celebrate? We don't celebrate anything. Like, I want to know. I think we should start celebrating certain people. Like Nelson Mandela, Gaddafi, Thomas Sankara, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We should have like national holidays for these kind of individuals. And we should start celebrating Captain Ibrahim Traoré and the guys from Mali, Goita, and Niger. We should start celebrating these guys. Yeah, because if it was the Europeans or the Americans, they will start celebrating them. They will have statues of them. So we should also do same. Yeah, what do you think, fellas? These are the kind of crimes these Europeans do celebrate. Yeah, they do celebrate all these kind of crimes. What are we celebrating? Let me know what you think. Leave your comment at the comment section. Should we start celebrating these kind of things or no? What do you think? Let's share your opinion, okay? And please be part of the famous family by subscribing to the channel. Watch the videos and also share my videos. And until we meet again, I'm your host, Shaolin Dekasa Harris. I'm out.